Hi everyone, I'm Tina. This is To the Inner Wild. Thanks for joining me, and welcome to my channel if you're a new one. So today I just came from the beach and I decided something was really bothering me, but instead of staying in bed all day, I got out. I shook out of it, and just something's been very cumbersome lately. I'm telling you, it's just like, maybe it's better if I just don't know very much. If I just put a blind eye to everything. Keep my blinders on. And it's not just focusing on what I'm doing, but forgetting about the onlookers. Forgetting about the fact that I'm being monitored. I feel like I'm a prisoner. What is this? 4 of Cups. Fuel is a priority. Gas up before you go. Yeah. I just put gas in the car too. Anyway, this is a zombie deck. And I thought I would take out, in light of the Halloween season, because I don't know when I'm going to be posting this, I'm gonna not be afraid, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this romantic tarot deck out and throw it along with a zombie themed deck. So right now we got the 4 of Cups, which tells me it's just not seeing what the divine is handing you. And you know, I want to be so confrontational. People that are watching me, I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm talking about other stuff. And I have to tell you the truth, it does feel disempowering. So congratulations on getting that far in your life. So, reverse, novelty, presage, new instruction, new relations. Well, that's a positive twist to aversion and vexations. It makes me so angry. It reminds me of the control panel I was talking to you about, mastering your control panel, the flickers and triggers of light, and knowing your triggers. And these are really testing me because I'm trying to laugh my way out of it or be confrontational in a spiritual sense. I mean, the thought came over to me today, and is there such thing, anything like having a spiritual restraining order on someone? Like, I'm about to dial up phone numbers. I'm about to follow through with these synchronicities, even if they knock me down a notch or 2 or 5 or 12, to basically tell someone to F off. And I guess maybe Spirit wants me to step up my magic game, my protection game. So anyway, whether this is done in good spirit or not, ultimately, I think anyone in the right mind of logic and of love would understand that this is not love. This is crazy. So anyway, let's go ahead and just jump through this deck, okay? We're gonna go through this deck a little bit. That was just a little intro to that deck, but we're gonna start with, now I found that in this romantic tarot deck that the interpretations are quite different. So we'll get multiple messages off of this, besides Rider-Waite-Smith's intuitive nudges, as well as what the author intended for us to retrieve from here. So good stuff. There is so much interference with what's going on that I can't even conduct my own hobbies. I can't, things get shut down. I was working on a couple of videos for more than 2 hours, well over that, and kicked me out and completely erased them. That's not Mercury retrograde BS. That's some other stuff. And I've been noticing certain things. Cross-referencing notes with my friends. Do you get these kind of problems on your phone? And it's not like I'm clicking on some bogus links or anything. This is... You guys know what you're doing. Now, I gotta figure out a way. I think maybe this presents a balance for me, okay? Well, I'm gonna just... These are not going to be the cards, but we see repetition from yesterday in seeing this card. It was reversed prior to, and now it is zooming into this picture. Upright. The image of this union, letting one's guard down, letting things unfold in its natural, passionate state. Okay, and then we have the Page of Cups, which is beginning of love, an initiation, a proclamation of love on a silver platter even. Oh my gosh, this guy. And he's like a clown. No offense, this is not saying that you're a clown, but just feeling like a fool presenting something on a silver platter. But he has a good attitude about him. Look. It's funny. He's making actually light of it, of the presentation. Like, ta-da! It's funny. Okay. And then 9, which is... I know 8 is strength, so then what's 9? I can't. And the major arcana. No, 11 is strength here. Nine is hermit. Duh, I should have known by the lamp that he was holding. Now this guy is studying. Oh, snap. He's studying the lady. Do you see the picture up here? He is going through some things. This is like when you keep things in the closet, kind of like secrets. Yeah, in the closet, stuff that's in the closet, in the drawer. That's basically what I'm seeing, as well as what's put out for the world to see. That's not okay. That's not going rummaging in people's business without their consent is not okay. Okay? You know those politician commercials? I want to call them infomercials because they're selling selves. And at the very end, there's some kind of credit to their name, some anecdote about them that grounds them. And at the very end, they say, "My name is da-da-da-da, and I approve of this message." Well, I don't approve of it. I just don't. Next up is 6 of Swords. Calmer waters. But they finally have a discussion here. Thank God. Some action. Some action is nice. Being caught up in limbo. Limbo is a new hell. But you see they're having a heart-to-heart conversation. He's kind of, his head is tilted down a little bit in a way that there's a sense of shame and intensity within him that is, he's just very braced. and he's giving her the side eye, like just checking to see if she's, and he has the pursed lips too, like, so this is uncomfortable for him, but he's doing it, and she is receptive. She's concerned. She's displaying concern. And in the background, we have Six of Wands energy with a candelabra. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But there's two of them. Oh my goodness. That's Three of Wands energy for each of them. Strength, enterprise, effort, trade, commerce, discovery. They're discovering selves through each other. Oh my gosh, this is twin flame. Let's just call it soulmate stuff, okay? I'm gonna call it soulmate stuff, okay? Those are his ships bearing his merchandise, which are sailing over the sea, and that's why he's overlooking her lay of the land as well. Okay. The card also signifies able cooperation in business, as if a successful merchant prince were looking from his side towards yours with a view to help you. Oh my, it says that. My gosh, look at that side view. Anyway, there's 3 on each, meaning they're pertaining to that, right? And then the further depiction of materialization through, it's manifested. At least the conversation is. Okay. I feel like, man, I thought these were just going to be some wild cards, like, hey, you know, so this kind of stuff is going on. So we have the Six of Wands. Oh, I should have known. Six of Wands is celebration. Man, nobody ever really looks deep into these cards, these romantic cards. I don't for another tarot system, but this is pretty much on point. Wow. Interesting. So one thing that I noticed is that they're indoors. And when you have a Six of Wands energy, it's usually portrayed outdoors, a celebration, a victory. But here it's not, so it's kind of massive. Oh my gosh, they're sitting at a piano, I just noticed, and they're playing music. It's harmonizing. And they're both playing together. It's a duet. Oh my gosh. I wasn't gonna do this reading, but I was like, you know, I gotta confront this like head on, and I want to be able to share the toughest times with you without bawling so much. So this was a perfect time to get that. So what I was trying to get out when I just noticed that, see, the candelabras are on the mantle of the piano. Could you even? It's momentous, this very moment here. And they're playing without even looking. It's synchronous and almost like the back of their hand, so familiar that they don't even have to look at what they're doing. They're having an intense conversation and they're playing the piano one-handed. Do you see that? With the other hands in link with each other. And holy moly. Okay, so what I was trying to say was that this doesn't give you the impression of the mysteries of the moon, nor the light of the sun, nor the twinkle of the stars. It's regardless of what's going on the outside, what's going on the inside is what really matters. Now that pertains to self as well. Thank you, angels, thank you, spirit. You know you're automatically involved once I get into this. You know it. Because there's just so much information that's flowing from here that I wanted to be able to thank you. in for the sake of time, they just jump right in. It's so amazing what they do. Anyway, It doesn't matter what's going on the outside. What matters is what's going on the inside. And regardless of whether either person is healed or at 100% capacity, they're working on each other. You see 3 candles lit on each side, and they're both active qualities of prospective behavior, progressive and prospective behavior. So it's looking forward into the future by being more present in the now, being effective in the now. So as uncomfortable as the situation is, because they can find that within themselves, they actually come together and ground this moment regardless of what's going on outside. There's no interruption, there's no hesitation, there's no interpretation of the sun, moon, stars at this very moment. It's just them, these 2 cosmic beings together, and that's very grounding, very peaceful, yes, serene, intense in the moment, but at the same time very telling in its quiet, still nature. It's harmonious, yes. Whoa, dear. Okay, so we see the development of the male throughout this. Okay, we see the Fool energy. We see what's held within their minds, whether that's subconscious or conscious. Then we see this male energy making the best out of his presentation. Shouldn't we all, right? So that's commendable, I feel like. There's even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birds in the sky, which is also another depiction of air, 6 of Swords energy, which is further depicted here. 6 of Swords, the actual 6 of Swords blended into. So this is calmer waters. But yeah, you see that, and then this is still shadow energy, I feel like, because no one should be snooping around. When you have a relationship, it should be built on trust, and so you have to be more active and forward with whatever you're feeling or going through to be able to share that with the person, right? So there's fluctuations. When we're growing, there, as a reminder, for sensitivity and compassionate sake, there's always an element of seeking balance within self and within the relationship as well, because it's a manifestation that you breathe life into, your own life into. So we see the fluctuations. We all go through that, right? Okay, Spirit, is there anything else that you want to convey out of this? We're in 20 minutes in. That was very nice. Angels, ancestors, you're in. Is there anything else that you would like to relay in accordance with this message? Okay. We got this card again, saying goodbye, and then this is just about the return as well. It's 10 of Wands. Okay. So 10 of Wands. I don't want to be too repetitive, but for shortcut's sake, this is basically a leaving at a prominent, this is a prominent moment. It's not just a standard leaving, because, you know, in twin flame relationships or any soulmate relationships that go through growing pains, there's ins and outs at times. Let's call them breaks, okay? And so there's ins and outs with the troubles that we go through, our personal challenges, as well as you know, the ones that we intentionally confront and the ones that are presented to us through our partner. not just head on, but inadvertent exposure to our own problems that are hidden. So, anyway, this is a goodbye and a leaving, falling away from each other. But a due return. Right? If this was an absolute goodbye, they would be clinging to each other or throwing things at each other. Something like that. But then here, this is 2, which is the high priestess, I believe. Yeah, she's the high priestess. Secrets fuel the fire from under the ash. Knowing is having, because those who know never have doubts. Wisdom. Yes. So she's minding her own business still. Within her own hobbies. Not bothered by the interruptions, because it's kind of a given in life. Regardless of how familiar those interruptions are or not, she is in union with the divine. And with that, that ultimately protects her, giving her adequate knowledge at the time that she needs it. So basically when I'm doing this stuff, whenever I do my tarot, I've noticed that there's a comfort in not being so biased by jumping out and speaking it as though it were a scene in a story, so that you can place your feminine versus masculine energies accordingly. And I feel like if we kind of stand apart from it, we automatically have an objective point of view. And I want to be able to extend that to you so that it's also, when you're seeing the darker side of things, things that are just not as digestible, maybe it'll help one consider another frame of mind, adapt to different changes, integrate changes, and enforce them accordingly for the best route. So, anyway, she stands in truth. She's embodying it. She's sitting on her throne. She's not even engaging with the oncomer, the onlooker, which is us. Okay, so that's something that I need to do. Yes. Okay, bottom of the deck is Ace of Cups in reverse. Yikes. I didn't think I was going to get that in reverse, but okay. This collective whole information. The cup runneth over. Yes, it does. And the bird, a messenger, is about to perch itself onto the cup, which is an element of hope about to land into this stream of abundance. And the gates are open. The gates are open. Okay, but we got it in reverse. So give me a second for the Rider-Waite-Smith. It is House of False Heart, mutation, instability, revolution. That's where we're at, aren't we? Yeah, I told you, I wanted to fight back. And that's my old self. So let's look at that, because reaction is part of our human condition. But it doesn't mean we need to stay in that energy, do we? So let's go ahead and read a little bit more into this, because I want to get the overall view of the, okay, Ace of Cups in this deck is something is born and it will be grand. The road ahead now seems, oh no, it's not Ace. Knave of Cups. Slave of love. Love is necessary to bring the light back to the lost smile, to a lost smile. Kind words are needed to radiate happiness, innocence. Okay, love is needed, just like this depiction here, ultimately. Okay, and then the 9, the way the Hermit is depicted is the loner. Solitude makes willpower stronger. Collect ideas one by one and take the road of love. Concentration. So that's really what it should truly mean, not snooping around, because if this were his own stuff, his own desk, he would be situated on the other side, not the opposite side where the drawer is opposite of him. If you really want me to do some detective work, that is my deduction. Again, solitude makes willpower stronger. Yes, seek light within. Okay. Collect ideas one by one and take the road of love. Then, the Six of Swords, which is sonata for 4 hands. Don't be afraid of a kiss. It is not a bee that stings, but a door that leads to hives filled with honey. It's passage. They have so many hidden messages here other than what I just told you. Okay, so basically, do not be afraid of intimacy, either parties. It leads to grander horizons, a greater perspective, really. So then the 10 of Wands is at Port Dauphine. The heart guides your steps in the right direction. What will be, will be. Positive effort. Yes. When you think positively, when you are embodying that energy, that's at 2828. When you hold that energy within and radiate it, only positive things will manifest. It's inputs equals outputs. Yes. So that's what we need to do. And with that, you're following your heart like a compass. Yes. And we got the Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups. So we're not there yet quite, but that's just a glance, a forward glance of what's coming. So Spirit, ancestors, angels, what else do you have for us from this deck in link with the previous cards provided? Any point of wisdom that you can shed? So you've already shed a light on the situation. What can come of it in a positive sense? But this is more like going survival mode. Seeing the gory and 7 of Wands. That's competition. The zombie leftovers. They bit off more than they can chew. Oh my gosh. So let me go ahead and read the 7 of Wands energy real quick, because I feel like there's an interpretation that's slipping from me. A card of Valor. For on the surface, 6 are attacking 1 who has, however, a vantage position. On the intellectual plane, it signifies discussion, wordy strife, in business negotiations, war of trade, barter, competition. It is further a card of success, for the combatant is on the top and his enemies may be unable to reach him. There's a saying about when people talk about you and then what is that saying? It's not biting off more than you can chew, but something relative to that. Putting their foot in their own mouth, basically. People are talking. Gossip. Competition can be relayed in various formats. It could be the passive-aggressive sorts, in a way that they present conflict in an arena of words. And words are tools of magic, yes? It's either blessings or curses. The way they describe this is, excuse me, my memory. Negotiations, intellectual, okay, signifies discussion. Yeah, you saw that they were having an intense conversation here. A rather difficult approach to it, or difficult to will it manifest it. The host of the conversation holds greater power. The initiator, I would say, holds greater power, because you can respect someone who initiates, yes, especially hard conversations to drive, especially if there is an ego, if there are egos involved on either sides. Yeah. You have the vantage point. So it's 4 of Wands over the 3 of Wands. Oh, sheesh. Give me a second. Got the 4 of Wands. It's, you know, the 11-11 twin flame, 33-44 on the clock. Twin flame journey, of course, it everybody talks about. But here, 4, they are for once almost on the surface. Country life, haven of refuge, a species of domestic harvest home, repose, concord, harmony, I tell you, prosperity, peace, and the perfected work of these. So that's 4 over the 3. It's trade, commerce, discovery. Those are his ships bearing his merchandise, which are sailing over the sea. So this is a state of being in harmony. This is in a state of like seeking progress, and or overall really seeking harmony, the discovery. So this is having over have-nots and biting off more than you can chew. So that's the dividing line. This is what elevates this element of the 4 of Wands energy. I don't want to read into, well, you know what? It's good. Anything else, Spirit, angels, ancestors, anything else you want to convey in this? It's ability of having seeing the higher ground, element of being rather than seeking, doing rather than saying. Very cool. Okay, is there anything else that you want to convey to us? I will pick the bottom of the deck as well, Spirit. Keep that in mind. Okay. I feel like these two wanted to come out. And then we have the 7 of Cups here, which is rumination, but it's in reverse. Zombies are like stalkers. They watch everything you do. Wake up. 7 of Cups in reverse. That's the bottom of the deck. I couldn't help myself. I wanted to veer off to find out what this meant. Desire, will, determination, project. That's a good thing. That's good. Okay, so we have here, okay, again, a zoom out of the terms and conditions. So taking a step back, give it breathing room, looking at the whole picture, being able to take that in part of validating the reality in the capacity of what you can experience in self, in your own shoes, to find and seek back and harness that control, is to understand it, stepping away. I'm not just saying objectively, mindlessly objectively, but taking a step back, seeing something. I saw this exercise somewhere recently, that you focus on an object that's familiar, a quiet room with no interruptions, and you observe an object that's familiar to you. You see it up close, you observe it, understand where it's at, its surroundings, and then you take a few steps back, maybe a different angle from your room or your place, and you look at it, and it's the same object, but you can see it in a different light. And oftentimes we do this with people, and we don't even realize it. But you take a step back, and this is basically what I'm saying on a parallel scheme, is you take a step back for a few and take a different angle on things, and you hold that vision. You're able to appreciate it more for its own being, its magnified terms of its own existence. And then you look at the surroundings as well. You observe that. And when you compare and contrast You see what holds important versus, you know, noise in the background. So it's really a great way, I thought, a great practice in broadening the context of a situation, of a person, relatable or not relatable to your own terms. I just saw my car clock. It's 3:21, and so that's what I'm saying. Zoom out. Take a different perspective. Doesn't have to be a different approach just yet, but just give it breathing room. And then the other card that we got is 6 of Swords again. 6 of Swords energy. Upright. Avoid zombies at all costs. They always get the munchies. Yes. Avoid them, because we have 3 of Swords energy and 3 of Swords energy bookending this statement right here. So whenever you see bookends, you see a further emphasis. It's not a parentheses, it's more of like the opposite. It's not like a hidden like subtitle. It's more like, I don't want to say trumpet, like a megaphone, you know, reverberating that sound, that frequency. The 3 of Swords energy on either side. So you've got to do your own thing. You've got to put on your blinders. Do not engage. Disengage, in fact. Engage yourself in something else. Because they're going to do whatever they're going to do. That's on their books. That's in their trajectory of their own fate. That's their own life path that they need to live. So when it comes to self, ground yourself with the divine. You've got the right people on your team. While there's growth expressed on both sides, you cannot judge whatever the other person is going through or their methods. But you can refuse that energy to coincide with yours. You don't have to. You have the essence of free will. So regardless of whether or not this is twin flame, it's something that we need to keep in mind, that our true power is held within our own choices, our own perspective. Yes, I feel like that was it. Was there anything else? I think that was a good lesson to learn. Some good discoveries there. I am tempted to go further, but this is already at a little over 40 minutes unedited. And I wish you well. I wish you peace. I wish you a sense of humor. It doesn't cure everything, but it does help in giving yourself breathing room from the situation, the actual feelings that are incurred, and your own fallbacks and your fluctuations with the growth process, because we all go through that. And we tend to encounter those fluctuations, those dips, when we set into our reactive state, when somebody pushes our buttons and they pushed it one too many times. It's almost like crying wolf, like the button that gets stuck because of overuse. Like it's out of order now. And so that's something that I just wanted to, that I guess the angels wanted to reiterate. They want to make it come full circle, as do I. So thanks for sticking through it. And you know what? I am going to start thanking you for hitting the like button and subscribing and your presence. That's good. That's a good thing. So I wish you well. Hopefully I'll see you again, and have a good one. Bye.